Today in this show, we're going to be talking about my top 3 rainy day anime. So before we get started, let me just explain what a rainy day anime is. It's basically a show that I can just watch any episode of. It doesn't necessarily have to be in order, and I can just have a really good time. And I know the series really well. The first one is Minami-ke. Now Minami-ke follows the life of the 3 Minami sisters, and it's a slice of life comedy, and it is so funny. There is Chiaki, who's in primary school, Kana, who's in middle school, and Haruka, who's in high school. There are currently 4 seasons of the show, and each one of them adds something different. You see, each and every season has a different colour palette for all of the characters. Now what I like about this show is not only the full colourful cast outside of the Minami sisters, it's that as I grow and change as a person, I find myself relating more to a different Minami sister every time. For example, when I was in school, I related to Kana more than everyone else. And then when I left school, I kind of related to Chiaki because I had a very similar attitude to her. But now I'm back to being like an artsy-fartsy individual, so I kind of relate to Kana more than everyone else yet again. I will say though, in terms of the characters' environment and their habitat, it's very Japanese. What I mean is, the characters don't necessarily act how people act in Japan, I can tell you that from experience, but the way the school works and the way the houses are laid out, they are very stereotypically Japanese. Actually, when I did my homestay in Japan, I actually stayed in an apartment that looks almost exactly like Season 2's layout of the Minami Sisters apartment. Also, you might find that some references might go right over your head, but you don't really need to worry about that because I do find that a good majority of fan subs back then put little notes around the video explaining references so you might be able to understand them. The next is the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Now I remember the show coming out and I was on a lot of anime forums at the time. And I remember the show already had a small following around it, but nothing huge. But then episode 3 came out and everything just exploded. What I like about the show is the crazy concepts in it. Like if you're a comic book fan and you kind of want to dip your toes in the anime world, don't be fooled in going the direction of Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. Watch the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, because this has a lot of concepts in it that are very similar to a lot of Jack Kirby stuff. I actually like Haruhi so much that I actually own some of the light novels and some of the manga. I want to get the rest of the light novels, it's just taking me a while to get through them. Like I've already read these 2, which is why they're down here. So yeah, Haruhi is a lot of fun, and if you're a comic book fan wanting to get into anime, definitely watch Haruhi. Do not be fooled into thinking Naruto and Dragon Ball Z is the way forward, because honestly I hate Naruto. Finally, we have Ouran High School Host Club. I love Ouran High School Host Club a bit too much. I remember when the show was coming out in Japan and rushing home from school because it was upload day of the episode, and I'd sit down to watch it and I'd always have popcorn. This show was such a huge deal for me. And then the English dub came out and I have to say I was more than a little bit disappointed. I felt like none of the voices really matched the characters other than Haruhi's. And then when it came to the acting, all of that was subpar other than Haruhi's, which really disappointed me. If you liked the English dub, that's fine. Personally, I just couldn't get into it, but it was the same for the rest of the UK anime community. Over here, we just don't really like English dubs. Now what this show is about is a girl named Haruhi who gets a scholarship to go to Ouran High School. And this is a school that she would not be able to afford to go to in a million years. She gets in and she's looking for a place to study, and then one day she runs into the Ouran High School Host Club and knocks over a vase and smashes it, so she has to work for the host club to pay back the vase, which was worth like 80 million yen. So what is the twist to all of this? Well, everyone other than the host club thinks that Haruhi is a boy, so she has to work as a host. I'm not really a romantic person, I'm a very blunt, straightforward person, but the romance in the show is so sweet, I love it so much. This show just meant so much to me back in the day, and surprisingly, I hadn't seen it in a few years' time. So I watched it for the first time in about 3 to 4 years the other day, and I was watching episode by episode, and I was just so overwhelmed by happy nostalgia that I couldn't stop crying. And I'm not talking like 1 or 2 tears, I'm talking eyes flooding, snot coming out my nose, that type of crying. That's just how overwhelmed I was, and how many happy memories this show brings back for me. I could go on about this show forever, and I probably will when I get the manga box set. It's on my wish list at the moment, so I definitely want to get it, and I'll probably do like a big manga issue by issue review of Ouran High School Host Club or something. So if you're a comic book fan that wants to get into anime, watch Haruhi. If you're already an anime fan and you haven't heard of Ouran or Minami-ke, watch Ouran or Minami-ke.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. What are your rainy day anime? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more anime videos, and also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better videos when we hit that A-list character goal, and subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.